Hello, my name is Claude, and my little company dive shop is Dyk och Båt, and it's in Sweden. Despite the soothing background, I normally dive in cold waters here in Sweden, and during winter time, which is closing in, the water temperature at depth is between 1 or 3 degrees, and it gets cold. I need extra heating. My thermal clothing is not enough. So over the years, I've used different heating vests. And I still have 3 of them in operation. The one I'm going to go ahead now and offer you a little review of is the American V3 Pro by Venture Heat. The heated vest is warming you front and back. Buying it cost around 10,000 Swedish crowns, maybe. Around roughly between $800-900 standard version. The vest is waterproof down to 100 meters, at least according to the specs. Looks like this, and it's made by some kind of soft shell, a little neoprene-like almost. It has, as I said, 2 heating zones, one front and one back. You just put it over, and there is a zipper. In the box, you will find also a smaller extension fabric that is good for people with maybe a little more roundy body shape. It has pockets in the front, one on each side, of course, here. And they are closed by a little Velcro on top, but also by a zipper at the side. And inside is the connector to the battery that I soon will show to you. And these connectors has 3 female holes here. And one is a blank, and the others are where the current actually is going. It's also equipped with a sensor here in the front. And that's the one that will tell you 1, 2, 3. That's the strength of the heating, how much power you put on. It will, how should I put it, connect to the remote control. And this one you put on by holding it for 2 seconds. That's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. And then 2 seconds, it turns off. Now, when the battery is on, you will hear and you will feel a little buzz, a vibration. Bzz, 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 bzz. And when you turn it off, bzz, a long buzz. And that comes in handy when you're diving, so you know, oh, it works. As far as the batteries are concerned, they look like this. And they are heavy little things. That's one of the negative things, I would say. Because it's almost a half a kilo. And if you have two of them, it's an extra kilo. And for some of us, trim is everything. And an extra kilo, well, it affects you. So hopefully version 4, whenever that comes, will make these slimmer and still efficient. Now, according to what I have learned from others, the previous version gave you a 40-watt output, heated up very nicely, compared to version 3, where they lower the output, so the effect is only 32. So I missed those 40 watts. If I had had the chance to choose, I would have taken it. As far as these batteries, it's 12-volt batteries, but 12 volts, when you look at the output, it says differently, 10.8, 11, depends. And they say that it's 5,000 milliampere. For those who buy these, maybe that's not the most important thing here. The thing is, how long will they last? Well, that depends. You have either 1, 2, 3 as the power level. Now, the manufacturer says you can have up to 360 minutes. I've been diving with this quite a lot. And I mean, they last for a long time, but not that long. Another thing is that the time to charge these is so long that you actually need an extra pair of batteries if you dive with a rebreather like I do when you do long dives in cold water. So that's another annoying thing that has to be taken into account. If you're a recreational diver or you only do 1-hour dives, no problem. But if you do longer dives, you need an extra set of batteries, and they don't come cheap. Now, as far as the batteries and the connection to the vest, there is another issue that has to be addressed. And maybe that's one of the more serious downsides. Why don't you do wet contacts? We are all humans, and sometimes we will. It's not a question of if, it is just a question of when. Forget to connect to the vest's connectors. And when you forget it, it will shortcut. It will be a short circuit. It will be corrosion. The batteries are safe. They will just stop working. But you will have a long time of cleaning. And if you are unlucky, the gold plate will go away and you will need extra electric grease on here to protect them for getting corroded in the future. A lot of hassle that could have been easily avoided by having wet contacts. I cannot fathom how you can sell these batteries and with a vest supposed to be used for both wet and dry environment without wet contacts. I mean, other manufacturers do. That is really, really bad. Another thing is when you dive in a wet environment, which I've been doing now for a month in Malta, you want it to be dry and nice and cozy when you put it on next day. That requires you to either have access to sunlight and warmth. But if you've been diving the whole day, let's say you come out of the water 4 or 5 in the evening, there is no sun. So you have to put it in the basement. And in the morning, it's still wet. the time it takes for this soft shell vest to dry has to be improved. Now, I saw someone else giving a review saying, well, you can put the batteries on. Yeah, sure, you can put the batteries on. It will, of course, quicken up the drying process. But then in the morning, you don't have any batteries to use. Have you? Do you? And with the time it takes to recharge them, that's not really a viable option. I mean, of course, if you have extra pair of batteries and you don't need 2 pairs for the dive day, fine. Otherwise, I stand with my opinion. The drying time has to be improved in some way. I do not know what kind of fabric you need for that. But the soft shell, that's a definitely disadvantage. Now, what is my overall opinion about this Venture heating vest V3 Pro? Well, it's a good vest, no doubt about it. It's won awards. It's a big brand in America, especially. It has room for improvements. I pointed it out. Drying time, connectors, battery to vest, the charging, recharging time, and of course, the lack of wet contacts. But if you have a scale 1 to 5 stars to hand out, and compared to the other vest I've been using, a 3 plus. That's what I would say, a 3 plus. And as for the price, well, who wouldn't like to have things cheaper, right? So, will I recommend buying it? Well, compared to other vests that are out there, yeah, I would say it's a good vest to have, but you need to be aware of the downsides. Like all other brands, they have plus and minus. And with this, I hope I gave you a fair review of a vest that I use myself in wet and in dry environment. Thank you for checking in and safe diving out there. Bye for now.